Okay, I am so excited to be here. You guys, I'm gonna mute you. And then, like I said, get in the chat. I love to have you guys in the conversation. It is a little choppy. Okay, manageable. I imagine the replay will be a lot smoother. So sorry for the choppiness. All right. So, one thing I love about live events like this is you guys in the chat. I love seeing your little faces there. It's so awesome. So, if you feel comfortable turning on your camera, I'd love to see you. That's the benefit of being here live with me is that we get to have a conversation in the chat. You guys get to connect with one another, share your thoughts. Like, if there's something I say that's like blows your mind, like put it in the chat, right? Put it in the chat, like tell us about it, reiterate it, affirm it to yourself. If there's something that you feel like you have a question on, like tell me, okay? Let's talk about it in here. I am so excited for this experience for the next 2 days with you guys. Illogical is something that I think that I am and we are, okay? And like it's hard to articulate. Who here? I mean, who's been called illogical before? There's Kelty. There you are, nice in the sunshine. Who's been called illogical before? Who has been told you don't make sense? Who has been told, like, be quiet, sit down? Like, I'm gonna cry today. This is crazy. Who has been, tell me in the chat, is this something that people have said to you? This is why you're here, is because something like called to you, okay, illogical, that is for me. You identify, it was my middle name, right? You identify in some way, shape, or form with being illogical. I do too. I get it. Okay, so before we get into the conversation, I want to remind you guys that there is a giveaway. If you are attending live and you attend again tomorrow live, I know that it's a huge commitment. It takes, we'll be here for about an hour each day, but I want to reward you big. So stick around. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, partly because I haven't decided, but also partly because I love surprises. Okay. Of course, people think I want more than I can have. Yes, Kelty. Oh my gosh. Like, that is, yeah, all the time. People calling me crazy, not realistic. Exactly. But what a breath of fresh air, knowing that we're not alone. Knowing we're not alone. So here we are. You were home. This is us. Okay. As we get into the conversation, I want to do a little pulse check just before we start. And that is, um, again, like I just said, we're here. You're in the right room. Okay, so I'm not here as well. Like, I'm not here to tell you what you already know because I've done a lot of free events, and a lot of you maybe here live with me and even on the recording. You've been to those free events. Okay, I want this to be something very different. I know that you know law of attraction, you know energetics, you know what making a decision is. Okay, you know all those things. I want to deliver something different today. And so the conversation is going to look pretty different than it usually does. A little bit more wild, a little bit more logical, and that's good. Like I mentioned before I started recording, I love when you guys are live with me in the chat, contributing to the conversation. Um, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so before we do, I want to know where you are because I mentioned like illogical is not just it's not just in life, right? Because I believe that at our core we are all infinite creators. We are, especially as visionary women, that is what we do. Okay, so I want to know where you're at in the chat with we're going to talk about this in a little bit, with your exchange, with your, if you have a business, because not only are we visionary creators, we are entrepreneurs at our core. And so I want you to share, where are you at with your business? Where are you at with your ideas, your visions, and bringing them to life? Because this is going to contribute to the conversation. If you have a business, let us know what it is and let us know where to find you. I know Kelty's got a retreat center in the Kootenays. That's amazing. Tell us about it. Yeah, Rose, worn out by the mundane. Rose is one of my good friends' moms. It's so good to have you here. It's awesome. Um, like, if you don't have a business, where are you at? What are your dreams? I have no space to dream. Oh, well, maybe after today you will, because we're taking back our power, right? Okay, where are you at? Still waiting for, yes, for the right idea for business. Okay, this is all good because this gives us good information on where we're going and what we're going to talk about today. This is so exciting. So my intention for our conversation for the next 2 days, and a little bit of housekeeping of how it's going to look, is my intention, like I kind of just said, is to stretch you. Okay, do I have permission to help you to dream? Do I have permission to expand your perceptions and your current beliefs? Because when we do this, when we get in community together in the room with other visionary women who are just like us, we stretch, we expand, we shift, we change, we challenge ourselves, and we begin to dream bigger than we ever have alone. Okay, and that's beautiful. So do I have your permission? Kelty, it's in the making. Okay, I couldn't have the retreat unless I was a nonprofit, but it does say that in the rules. But I went and talked to them. They said I can work around it. I believe I can do what I want. And the universe is like, yes, you can. Absolutely, you freaking can. Oh my gosh. So it's all happening. It's all happening. Yes, you have the permission, all the permission. Okay, so exciting. So I know that women like us, like Rose said, like we're tired of the mundane. Like it's exhausting trying to conform, trying to follow the rules, trying to fit in, trying to figure it out, trying to like wait until we're ready because someone else told us we're not ready, trying to like process and just exist in this world feels exhausting sometimes. Does it? You guys are on the same page, right? It's fucking exhausting to try to follow the rules, to try to fit in, to try to do it right, to try to da da da. Okay. But we know that we're not okay with this. And this is what this conversation is going to be, is a giant permission slip to no longer do that, to take our power back. And we're going to do some tapping today and tomorrow. And it's going to be really fun, and it's going to be really expansive, and it's going to remind us of our truth. Okay. Because we have felt alone. Tell me in the chat you felt alone, right? We have felt crazy. We have felt like something's wrong with us. I know all of us have, for sure. Yes, something's wrong with us. But we are infinite, creative, visionary women who do not fit in the mold of society. It's not our job to fit in. It's not our job to fit in. It's not our job to continue to exist in that model. Okay. And although I did a post yesterday, and this was the first time actually, I was thinking about it after I posted it. I was like, wow, I've never done that before. And it felt really good. And although it doesn't make sense, although it might shock some people, I posted it anyway. And I didn't even think twice about it. Okay. And it is something along the lines of like, I said a line in there that was like, I don't want you to feel comfortable reading my posts or listening to me speak. That's what I'm not here to do. I'm here to expand you. And so if we think about like what we've been doing up until now, trying to fit in, trying to follow the rules, trying to abide by someone else's framework, it's no wonder we feel overwhelmed, frustrated. Tell me if you felt these things before. Angry, bored. Have we felt like that before? Yes, we have. Because the constructs aren't meant for us. Have you felt overwhelmed trying to figure out how to do life? Yes to all of it. How to do life, how to build our business, how to like go after our dreams, how to even just do life. Like I said, like, have we felt overwhelmed? Yes. And it's because we're trying to do it someone else's way. And when we try to conform, when we try to do these things that way, it drains us. It drains us. Okay. Have you ever felt depressed before? Yes. We all have. Okay. And it's because we're trying to do things in a way that doesn't align with us, we're limiting, yes, especially the overwhelm, we're limiting ourselves and our capacities when, as visionary women, like I was on a call yesterday with a private client and I literally asked chat GPT, AI, what is a visionary woman? Just to like know, like, what is a visionary? Visionaries have the ability to see the unseen, to see potential. That is what we are here to do. We can create anything from nothing. Okay. And that is us. You know, average people might say, you don't make sense. You don't make sense. You're illogical. Be realistic. Okay. But when we try to be realistic, we block that infinite capacity. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? We block our superpowers as visionaries. And what this world needs, let me know if you agree. This world needs more fucking women who aren't afraid to live their goddamn life, right? Sorry for the language, but like that's what the world needs. The world needs more women who are loud and proud and excited and passionate and colorful. That's what the world needs. The world doesn't need more rules. It doesn't need more sheep. Okay. And so when we try to conform and fit into those boxes, it drains us and it confuses us. Because as visionaries, we don't think logically normally. But when we try to make ourselves think logically, we get overwhelmed. Does this resonate? When we try to follow the rules, it feels really freaking hard. Right? Trust me, I've tried to follow the rules for a lot of my life. And I know you all can relate to this. When we try to fit in, we're like a animal in a small cage. You feel that? That's big. Okay. And I'm even talking about, yes, I know. Yes, but okay, so I'm able to see potential in everybody, but not feeling capable myself to do the things. Yes, because you've forgotten your power. Because other people have drained it from you. Okay, but here we are together, bringing it back, taking back our power. So I'm even talking about business, strategies, how-tos, linear constructs of how to actually do the thing. It's all someone else's information. It's all ideas. Okay, what if you didn't need to know how? Right? What if you didn't need to know the strategies? What if it actually didn't have anything to do with the strategies or the linear how-tos? Think about that. Oh my gosh. What if I could create my own rules and even methods and even movements? You guys know I just developed my own tapping method because I give myself permission to. Nobody gave me permission to do that. I made it up. And where did I make it up from? I made it up from all the information I've collected along my lifetime up until now. And it will continue to expand as I do. And that's what you get to do as well and are doing. Okay, so before we move on, today's the how, tomorrow's the who. At the end of tomorrow's conversation, I have a very exciting opportunity to invite you into. So stick around for that as well. It'll blow your mind. I can't freaking wait. And it's something that I know a lot of you here have been waiting for, been calling in. And even like the add-ons, the bonuses are more than the investment cost. So this is really big and really exciting. The replays from each of these days and the integration work is going to be sent out via email right after the live lesson each day. And we're going to have so much fun. Okay, that's the biggest thing. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to be present. We're going to get involved in the conversation in the chat like you guys already are. And we're going to turn the dial up on ourselves because that's what the world really needs. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to help you to expand your perceptions and your beliefs. And some things I say might be triggering. Keep that in mind. But that's my intention because that's how we create change. Okay. So part one, the how. We know that the how is not holding us back. I I did a poll on my stories the other day on I asked my audience on Instagram, like, what do you believe is holding people back from their dream life? And like I said, like the how, the knowledge, knowing the right people, or decision making. And I was actually legit surprised that almost everyone got it right. Okay. And it's not the how, it's the ability to make a decision. Let me know in the chat if you would say that you are a fantastic decision maker. Or let me know if you're like, okay, I know I know that I can, do some work around my decision making. So the how often derails us because of what we just talked about, because we believe there is a how. Could use some work. Yes. Okay. Because we believe there is a how, the how holds us back. Bad decisions. Okay. I am watching you live and on the replay, hold yourself back in some way. Okay. You're holding yourself back out of fear, out of old patterns, judgment. Why do you believe you're holding yourself back from whatever we want to say, living your dream life? Like being your most unapologetic, illogical self. Why? What is holding you back? It's not a trick question, don't worry. It's money. Yeah, okay. It's money because everything I need needs money, fear and money. Interesting. Judgment is often another one. We're afraid. Okay, so go deeper into the fear as well. What are we actually afraid of? Are we afraid of judgment? Are we afraid of failure? Are we afraid of the same thing happening that happened last time? Afraid of assumptions from other people? Okay, often the how, like not enough consistency. Okay, so these are all things that we believe are holding us back right now. Are we ready to see them differently? Are we ready to see them differently? Okay, so let's talk about delusion. Let's talk about delusion. Like my favorite thing to talk about. I have to work hard and maybe if I fail. That's legit, right? These are all legit things. I want to just acknowledge that these are all things that are actually very legit and can feel very heavy, and it can be really can feel very real. Okay, not enough discipline, all these things, right? Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, what if all of these ideas, all of these fears and concepts were layers on top of who we actually are at our core, our truth within us? Because we know at our true core of who we are, because we are not this human body, we are a spiritual being having a human experience right now, and our spirit is always for expansion and fuller expression. It knows no lack. So all of this information, I see it as like this, you can see it as like this M&M even. We've got this like shell over top of us, and the shell is this information that we've collected. Oh, maybe she is. Yeah. I could before, but you can see if you can switch that, Rose. How does that land? If you think about this for a second, this fear, this not enough, this I lack discipline, this lack of money, what if it is information that we've collected? What if it is a belief that we have created as a result of what we've been through up until now? About that for a second. And I know you're like, okay, well, the money in my bank account is very fucking real. Okay. Thanks, Kelty. Right. But what if, just consider, what if these ideas and information are not actually your truth, even though they feel really real? Let's talk about delusion. Tell me in the comments if you are the most delusional person you know, because I think I am. Is for sure I am. Yeah, we are. Here we are, the most delusional person I know. Yes. Yes. Okay. But I want you, obviously, to know that you're not alone because all of us here, and there's a lot of women on the replay as well, are saying, yes, I am the most delusional woman I know. I'm the most delusional person I know. And how cool does it feel to know that you're not alone? That there's other women out there that feel the same. Okay, this is your community. All right, so here's something I wanted to share with you guys, the truth behind illusion, because trust me, I am the most delusional person that I know, and I always have been. And it might be similar for you, right? Sometimes we meet someone that is like, oh my gosh, they are, you feel like you're like, oh my God, they see me. They get it. They get it. They're on the same page, and that feels really good. But when it comes to living your dream life, creating your dream life, creating your dream business. Okay, I want to talk a little bit more about business here because you guys said money. Guys, we get to create money. I just was on Scale talking about money, sales as a service. Money is so much more than just an exchange, it's an opportunity. So let's talk a little bit about this. Because if we see ourselves as this spiritual being having a human experience, we've got all this information that is on top of our truth. And we have been living through that information, believing, I don't make sense. I'm not good enough. I blah, 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 for so long, and letting it drive us and letting it create our results, which you can probably look around right now and see your results, right? I mean, like, not in a bad way. We're just observing. Okay. But when we realize that and come back, we realize that we can realize that we are actually the only ones holding us back. Okay. Do you know that? Let me know in the chat. How does that feel? Okay. I'm actually the only one holding me back. And it's actually, although money is a thing that I need, it is a tool. It is more than an exchange. Yes. I get to change my experience. My mind is the only cage. Yes, I know you feel responsible. This is, we've talked about this before. Okay, but that means that I created my results. And like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking to create these results? And like, you start to make it mean something and feel something. And so from there, I don't want us to take our results. Yes, awesome. I don't want us to take our results and make it mean something, because that does the opposite of what we want. It gives our power away to it even more. So instead, I want us to use it as just information. It's information. We know this. We don't manifest what we want. We manifest what we need to become the woman who has what we want. Does that land? That's like such a great realization, because this, up until now, these results, what we've lived through, has made us who we are today. And all we get to do from here, because we are conscious and aware, we get to use it as information, and we get to consciously choose where we're going from here. And then we get to be delusional. Yes. The more I realize, the less I need. It's true, right? But we get to be delusional. We don't, like we started the conversation, like we don't need to fit in. We don't need to feel overwhelmed by all the constricting things. We actually just get to do us, our life, our own way. So the truth behind the delusion is this: we can be delusional all day long. We can exist in our imagination. And this was the biggest thing for me. We can exist in our imagination. We can create the life of our dreams in our imagination. But if we don't do something about it, nothing substantial will change. Okay, I say substantial because we're always changing. We're always expanding, always growing inside, right? And our identity is shifting, our standards are shifting, our beliefs are shifting. Yes. Being delusional in the mind and living in that new reality in your imagination. Do you guys do this? Do you have this like place where you are like, I know this is coming. I know this is what my life is supposed to look like. I know it. I can feel it. Tell me in the chat, do you do this? Do you have this? Do you have that delusion in your head? Yes. So then it comes down to very exciting when I'm there. Yes. And then definitely see how living it first in your mind, living. Okay. For a while creates pathways to make stuff happen. Yes. Yes, Kelty. And Kelty's been in my world for a while and back with the default to designed program. Remember the 4D? It's like we need to develop that first. But then what do we need to do after that? Because sometimes what happens is we get stuck in the how. Right? We get stuck in the how. And we start asking ourselves and we start saying, well, what should I do? And then we start asking other people for opinions. What would they do? What should I do? I don't know what to do. What if this happens? What if this happens? And we start to get so freaking confused. We feel that overwhelmed. Right? But the truth behind the delusion, we're going to talk about that more in a second here. Like I said, I was delusional for so many years and it was so awesome and so beautiful. And I am still like, that is the primary. Yes. Everything starts with delusion here, delusion. But from there, it's not the how. It's not how do I make it happen now? It's who do I need to be? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And what action would she take? Okay. What action would she take now? And it's moving in that way now. It's taking that action. So I dim my own light because the pain of not getting to it. Yes, I get that. And it's exhausting, right? And let us know, like you guys, if you feel this as well, because we can feel exhausted when we're doing the things, we're living in the illogical, we've created this beautiful experience, and then we're trying to get there and it doesn't come. And as a result, we feel burnt out. We feel doubtful. We feel exhausted. We feel overwhelmed. Okay, I get that. 100% I get that. This is what shifted it for me. The law of compensation. Dum, dum, dum. You guys know this. And we've talked about this so many times. This is what it comes down to. Okay, you want to live a very beautiful, abundant, impactful life because I know that you guys are here. Let me just say this out loud and state it. Okay. There's part of you that would love to lead a movement, develop your own method, write books, host seminars, have retreats, fucking fly first class, fill your fridge with organic food without even thinking twice, donate thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to charities every month, build an insane future for your kids, invest your money. There's a part of you that wants that, right? Claim it in the comments. You're in the right room. Claim it in the fucking chat. Like, sorry for my language if it offends anyone, but it's just who I am. Okay, here we don't hold back. Claim it in the chat because we live in a society that tells us, yes, we live in a society that tells us you're fucking selfish if you want more. I want it all. You're selfish if you want more. Don't take more than you need. We can't live like this anymore. We can't, because you know what happens? We squash ourselves. We deprive ourselves. And that light inside of us that is here to just blow up, like light the world on freaking fire. Exactly. It's the selfishness declared from others that takes me down. It's just the layers. And you get to decide when you're ready to let go of them. Okay. The more we suppress this drive and vision we have, the more tired we feel, the more overwhelmed we get, the more depressed we get. Okay. And the more people we're not serving. Every day that goes by, we're not changing lives by staying in our old information. Okay. So it comes down to making a decision, which we're going to talk about in a second. But first, I want to talk about the law of compensation. There needs to be an exchange. There needs to be an exchange. Okay. We're here to be insanely wealthy. Like even the first millionaires in our direct lineage. That is what we're here to do. And again, I'm here to stretch you. So if this triggers you, there's gold there. So write it down. But the only thing that's stopping us is this old information and the exchange. Because it's one thing to be fucking delusional. Like we're going to be delusional for every single day for the rest of our lives. Yes. And that is our gift as visionaries. We get to be delusional and help the world to wake up. Okay. But if we don't have an exchange, the chance of the dreamiest people finding us, bags and bags of money just falling on our doorstep every month are very slim. Okay. And so the world needs us to claim our exchange. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about the law of compensation. It states that we will be compensated based upon, and some of you have already heard me talk about this, the need for what you do, how good you are at it, and your ability to be replaced. And sometimes when you hear something like 10 times, but then it's like the 11th time that fucking blows your mind wide open. This could be that. Okay. Sometimes we need to hear it a million times before it actually, holy shit, lands. So traditionally, normally, when we have been giving our power away to the outside world and trying to conform to the constructs, keep hammering away, to the constructs of society, we would have given these three things to somebody or something outside of us to decide. Okay. The first thing, the need for what you do. Who gets to decide this? We are not women who go and Google search, what does the world need right now? What is a lacking thing in my niche? Like, no. How good you are at it. Right? Like how good you are at it. Are we waiting? We have been, maybe up until now. We've been waiting for recognition. And usually this comes from trauma, right? Like I know that I used to carry a lot of childhood trauma around being seen and needing to be recognized, needing to be celebrated. But it all changed when I first became aware of it and recognized, holy shit, I'm still just living my childhood. And now I have other kids. I have my own kids that I am helping them to live their best childhood, right? And it's just all so connected. And I took my power back and I realized I'm going to celebrate me. I'm going to see the good that I'm doing and I'm going to praise me. And you know what happened when I did? Everyone else fucking followed. Everyone else says and affirms to me what I affirmed to myself. But it's not until I decided it for me first. So how good you are at it. Yes, it'll come. Still looking for what I'm good at to serve the world. Usually it has something to do with what we've been through or are currently navigating, because there's something here. We're not looking to become experts at a craft or a field. We are stepping into leadership as visionary, multidimensional, infinite, creative women, which means, in basic terms, we are leaders of a movement. We are very much going through and on the journey with our clients, with the people who are meant to rise with us. At no time ever do I claim I know everything or am finished. Never. This is a journey that we get to go on together. And because you're here live with me or on the replay, we're in this journey together. And it's beautiful. And when I teach you and lead you, when I coach in a group or in private, like I expand me. And as I am helping you to expand you and supporting you. Isn't that beautiful? So still that thing, usually as a coach, as a mentor, and I assume that you hear, like, visionary women are leaders. We are leaders in some way, shape, or form. We're entrepreneurs. I started talking about it and then I dropped it. Everyone is an entrepreneur at their core. If you look back through history, we were all entrepreneurs until the Industrial Revolution came and told us, go to school to work a good career, get a good career, and you have benefits, you're secure, and then you can retire and you can actually live well, live a good life. Okay. And I mean, if I'm offending you, sorry, but I also already gave you the warning, right? But what we know now is that though that model is outdated, right? It's very outdated. That was the Industrial Revolution, where people were like, why would I grow my own tomatoes when I can go and buy them at a store, right? But now women like us are like, I want to grow my own tomatoes so I don't have to go to a store. And then there's all this shit on them and all the things, because we have this awareness now. Times have changed, very much changed. And so we might still, some of those layers on top of us might still be that old information of like, working hard is the only way to find success. It's old information. Working hard is not how you find success. Being you is how you find success. That is where the effortless expansion happens. That is where the effortless results happen, being you. Because when you are you and unapologetically you, your life feels easy. Your work feels easy. It flows from you. You don't need to put on a mask and try to be someone you're not. All you need to do is be you. That's what I do in my work. And it's taken me up until now to get to where I am, but it's a journey that we get to go on together. Okay. So the last one here with the law of compensation is our ability to be replaced. Who gets to decide? Who gets to decide about whether I'm going to be replaced or not? Me. I decide. You decide for you. Is there a need for what you do? Well, I've made it up, and like, I see how it helps other women and people to expand their capacities, to change their lives, to dream bigger, right? Am I good at it? Damn right, I'm good at it. I'm always working to be better and do better. And every day I show up and I commit, and I'm so good at it. And I'm always perfecting it. But perfection is never an end goal. There's never an end. Okay. And then my ability to be replaced. Well, I don't even fit into any sort of niche in any way, shape, or form. So, like, how can I be replaced? Because no one else can replicate me. Does that make sense? Does that land for you guys? So I want you to take this and see it for yourself. How does this work for you? And when you think about, I'm still looking for what I'm good at, like, when you release the things and trust yourself and really tune in, what would I love? Like, what have I been through? What would I obsess over talking about for a week straight, for example? Like, what keeps me up at night? That is your gold. Yeah, authenticity, being yourself, self-worth, like full expression of you, trusting yourself. All of these are like things that, as visionary women, we are good at, and the world needs more of. Okay. The world definitely needs more of this. Yes. Okay. Love this, Rose. I do know when I've been able to do that in my past, and then stuff happens that derails me. Yes. Okay. This is why I created the EFT tapping method, is because I recognized this is also why in Scale, my 3-month business accelerator program, We've spent the whole first month working on our nervous system because I realized that in our society, we are taught, okay, you know what you want. Is it realistic? Does it make sense? Is it achievable? Take the steps, map it out, A to B, and do it. Work harder, get there, do the things. That's how we were traditionally taught to find success and create. But as creative visionaries, that's not how it works. Okay, what we need to do is choose, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? And then what's the word? We expand our perceptions and our identity to match it. Yeah, mentorship is what's been missing. Yes, absolutely. But besides that, oh my gosh, we need community. It doesn't happen in isolation. Yes, please, this is it, right? So along with that, there is things that we can be doing that help our nervous system to regulate. So one of them is expanding. Like once we feel safe, I'm saying this because like this is like the linear concepts, right? But we know in this space that we're ready to expand. We've been ready to expand years ago, right? We were born ready to expand. And so in that case, what we need to do is help our mind, because remember, our mind is a very interesting, complex human thing. We are a spiritual being with infinite ideas, potential, all the things, creative, whatever. But our human mind itself is a limitation. Okay, and so we need to understand how to work with our mind. Remember, our nervous system is always collecting information from around us, and it's collecting it and sending it to the part of our brain that then determines how we feel about it and what we're going to do about it. So there's no difference between doing something, we've never done before and feeling fear and being approached and stalked by a cougar in the mountains. Our nervous system is sending a trigger to our brain, and our brain is reacting to it in a similar way. Right away, the sympathetic nervous system is engaged, which means our fight and flight and fawn response is engaged. So as a result, our body, our heart is pumping more. We feel anxious, right? We feel scared. We feel fear. We could literally run. Okay. That is because it is a very old instinct, but we are reacting to that thing. Like you said, been able to do stuff in my past and then something happens and it derails me, is because we've reacted to that thing and then we've made it mean something. And then we have spiraled. And again, I'm just saying this to call it for what it is, but I don't want you to make it mean something. I just want you to observe it. Because again, if we make it mean, I'm not good enough then, or I've got work to do, or I've got more healing to do. No, we're just making it mean something. We're telling ourselves more of the story. But instead, if we can just see it for what it is, okay, I understand now. Logically, I can understand it. The sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight or fawn, and I know exactly what happened now. Now I can actually try again with tools like tapping, awareness, and like Rose said, mentorship, support, community, people like me, beside me, behind me, holding me higher. Oh my gosh, it's like going into the jungle. I've used the jungle trail a while back. It's like going into the jungle wearing no shoes and your swimsuit, let's say, versus going into the jungle with a machete, hiking boots, and a hat and bug spray, and like you're prepared. It's obvious, right? It just makes sense. Yes. Okay. So coming back in, like that understanding is everything, because then we know I am not actually an anxious person. I'm not a depressed person. I am just regulated. My nervous system is regulated to my current results feeling normal. Therefore, anything that doesn't feel normal is going to trigger the fight or flight response until I take my power back and I choose consciously differently. Okay. And I teach the tapping method. There's a piece of the tapping method that is venting and processing. This is gold in a situation like that. If there's something that's come up, you're feeling any sort of limitation, you tap it out, you vent it out, you process it so that you can alchemize that into expanding your perceptions and expanding what normal is for you. So that next time you go to take new action, you actually are like, I can hold this, even when something happens, because the thing is going to happen. The contrast is always going to be shown every time. Okay. Forevermore. We have this like weird illusion that, it just disappears one day. It never disappears. In fact, it gets louder as we progress, as we grow, as we become brighter, bigger, bolder, louder, wealthier. That just amplifies. And so if we can't hold this current, and I'm not saying like insignificant, you suck. It's like, if we can't hold this, how are we going to hold that? So that's how serious it is when we're regulating the nervous system. Fuck, I can hold this. I got this. You said something, I don't even care because I know my truth. It doesn't affect me. And you don't need to start a fight about it or belittle anyone. It's just in your mind, I can hold this. I got this. I get it. Right. So there's so much more we can talk about when it comes to tapping and about my method. I know, Rose, you've been listening to some of my Tapping Tuesdays, and I've been talking about it more on there. So hopefully that has been connecting some good dots. But you guys, let's talk about this masculine and feminine thing, okay? The law of compensation is like the thing, but the biggest thing that I mentioned there is like delusion is everything, yes, and it starts all in the mind. But if we don't have an exchange, the chance of like billions of dollars coming and banging on our door in a good way is pretty slim. So why don't we take our power back and realize I get to actually choose how much I get paid? I actually get to become a vibrational match to wealth. Okay. And this is a common thing. People sometimes win the lottery and then, blow all the money and they're back to where they started. Okay, not everybody does that, but sometimes. And it's a good analogy, kind of basic, but it shows us that that person has not shifted their identity. And I've been pondering this, the energetic minimums concept for a while now. And it was a couple of weeks ago that I actually brought it up in scale that I was like, energetic minimums, I think it's bullshit. I think that, back then I was like, I think that it doesn't exist. Energetic minimums. Okay, one day you're like, I am no longer okay with anything else other than $10,000 in my bank account. That, to me, of 2 weeks ago, I was like, I can't understand it. I don't get it. How is that a thing? But then it dawned on me. I had this big realization. I had this realization one day that energetic minimums are unconscious. They're unconscious. Okay. Energetic minimums are energetic. It's our own like unconscious beliefs and identity. So for us to, win the lottery, for example, or I don't even want to use that example because it's too kind of like fluid maybe. Yes. Okay. It was so good to see you. Well, I'll send out the replay after. We're going to run over a little bit, you guys. And if you're okay to stick around, please do. But if not, then you can jump off and watch the replay. Okay. Because here's the thing. If, for example, you start your business or you go all in and you're scaling your business and you are fully in your power, you're feeling so good and like on fire. And then you like randomly have a really beautiful experience and you have 10 people in a $1,000 offer, let's say. Okay, 10 people in a $1,000 offer and you have a $10,000 launch. That's kind of what we'd call it, right? In that moment, you could go either way. If your nervous system wasn't ready to hold that $10,000, you could self-sabotage. And maybe you've done this in the past. Let me know in the chat if you've ever reached a goal or like done something really awesome And then talked yourself out of it, talked yourself down, listened to the old voices. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Who am I? Yes, totally. Right. Oh my gosh, $10,000. I don't deserve this. I haven't worked hard enough for this. This is all old information, right? We know this. So, that is the same. Our nervous system is not regulated to $10,000 being our normal. So the work, especially if it's unfamiliar, yes, absolutely. It's basically only if it's unfamiliar, our nervous system is triggered and self-sabotage happens. After my first retreat, I was like, okay, I did it. I'm done. Yes. So the work is us regulating and expanding our nervous system. And that's what we get to do as visionaries, is we get to see it for what it is. Okay, my current results feel safe, but I don't want my current results anymore. Therefore, I'm going to do everything I can to expand my awareness. This is what we kind of were doing inside the abundance challenge, right? Which, Rose, the abundance challenge, I think I talked to you about it. It's a 4-week on-demand tapping challenge where you practice one tapping per week. How do we explain this? One tapping session every day for 1 week. It's about 7 minutes long. And then you go into step 2, and it helps you to expand your perceptions and open up to seeing abundance everywhere. And then expanding your perceptions, you can hold more. And then taking aligned action as that, yes, exactly, as that expanded version of you. And Kelty's inside. It's been amazing. I could feel myself growing. Yes, because then that's us regulating to a higher standard. And then eventually what happens, even on like week 2, you guys were all going crazy. Oh my God, abundance is everywhere. Week 3, we're now expanding, and it's like, wow, I can hold this. And it's not just in business, it's in life, right? I have a client who told me she was driving down the highway and her tire blew up. And it's scary, right? Instead of reacting and freaking out, like, it's human nature, especially alone on the highway, she was like, I got this. I can hold this. And I'm just going to, and she guided her. She did the whole thing without freaking out, without losing it. Because when our subconscious nervous system, our sympathetic nervous system is engaged, our thinking capacity is non-existent. Okay. We can't even think versus, and I mean, never mind dream. We can't even dream. When we were in a state of anxiousness, feeling not enough, overwhelm, we cannot even dream. Okay, we cannot even think. All right, so let's talk about the masculine and feminine here, because as visionary leaders that we now are, right, we are claiming it now. I am a visionary leader. I am here on this world to not fit in, to not color in the lines. I am here instead to help the world to expand in your own unique way, right? Sometimes we get caught up in the manifestation. We get caught up in the energetics, the feminine. We do our manifesting, we do our tapping, we do our journaling, we do our movement, we do our rituals, we do our self-care, right? Let me know in the comments or in the chat if you're like, yes, this is me. I'm doing all these things. I'm doing all these things. And as soon as you say, I should be doing more, that is a linear construct. That is a restriction. Throw it out the door. Okay. Because I hear from women some days, oh, I missed my tapping today. Great. Doesn't matter. You could do it now if you want to. You can also just start again. Like, we don't need, do you see the depth of this? Like, we don't need to follow the fucking rules. No more. Okay. So we're doing all these things. I know you guys are doing all these things. We're expecting, actually, we are worthy of the millions. But what's happening is we're in our own way, right? We know this. We're in our own way. Yes, more self-compassion. We're in our own way, but even more is we don't have the exchange, right? We don't have the exchange because we don't believe in ourselves, because we haven't given ourselves permission to fully express. That is the biggest thing I'm seeing here. And I see this with my clients. Like, that is the biggest thing with visionary women, is we're still holding ourselves like captive. and it's all the other information, right? But it's our job to realize that we are infinitely creative and infinitely abundant. And our birthright, like we are on this planet to be insanely wealthy and abundant. Okay, wealthy in monetary abundance, yes, but also wealthy in our ability to make our own choices. Choices, whatever, grow our own food, travel first class, lead these retreats. This is us, okay? But we have been expecting, maybe some of us have been expecting the results to come. We've been expecting perfect clients. We've been expecting the bags of money to fall out of the sky, right? We've been expecting things that we would love, we would want, and then we're getting frustrated when we're not here. Okay, I know this is a little bit like harsh and like it might be a little bit triggering, but let me know if you've ever done this before. And I catch myself doing this all the time. Complacency. It's like a word I use with myself all the time. Are you being complacent again? Is that complacency I see coming out again? Because the math ain't mathin'. Okay. And I know you can hold this. Let me know if you've recognized you being complacent from time to time. Okay. Yeah. So our history as women has been about others telling us what we can and cannot do, our bodies and thoughts. Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about here. And so it's our job now, our work here as women living in this time and space is to break the cycle and to lead for the women, our daughters, our grandchildren in a new way. Isn't that exciting? And to change the world. And so this is why I love mentorship and coaching so much. And I believe every single person has wisdom and a gift to share with the world. And it's a matter of trusting ourselves enough to bring it to life and to unapologetically share it with the world and be fucking compensated for it. Okay, be compensated for it. This is the thing. Divine feminine rise. Oh yeah, exactly. So some of us are living conditionally. Okay, even as visionary creators, we're still living conditionally. And we talked about this a little bit already, right? In response to Rose's comment, right? Like, what does it mean to live conditionally? Well, we are reacting to the things around us. We're reacting to what's happening and we're making it mean something. So starting now, we no longer are going to be living our life conditionally. Yes. Okay, I'll send out the replay right after. Starting now, we are no longer allowing ourselves to live conditionally. Similarly, when it comes to business and making money, we have been living conditionally. We have been building our business and showing up for our community conditionally. When we know, like we've all agreed on already, we're here to lead a movement. We are here to develop a method. We're here to lead retreats. We're here to fly internationally first class. Like these are all things we desire. They're on our timeline. But we have been living conditionally. We've been moving conditionally. For example, posting, in our business only when we want to, showing up only when we feel like it, serving other people only when it feels aligned. Okay. And although I want you to absolutely trust your instinct and your judgment and your intuition and put yourself first always, there is a piece of this that requires some grit. Okay. That's where the masculine comes in because we don't have results without masculine energy. So it's not that we want to do things that feel misaligned. It's that we want to hold ourselves to it. We want to do the things that we're saying we're going to do. We need both the masculine and the feminine. Absolutely. Integration of both energies. The feminine is the energetics. It is the tapping. It is the mindset. It is the thoughts, the beliefs. It is the inner work. It is the flow, the ease. Masculine is the action. And masculine has kind of like this negative connotation about it, but it's actually what makes anything happen. Not men. It's the masculine energy. Everyone, male and female, has masculine, feminine energy, some more than the other. Okay, but here, as visionaries, this is where we get to bring our intense feminine energy and bring it together with the masculine to actually make magic happen. So it's a lot more than just in the mind. It's actually bringing it out into the world. Okay, so doing more, however, is not the answer, right? We don't just want to go out there, okay, I'm just going to do then. I'm just going to do more. How do we I mean, pop quiz, what is the answer then? How do we make things happen? What is the, and this goes back to the poll that I mentioned. If you want to put in the chat, Rose, if you have any, yes, be do have, exactly. Oh my gosh, look who's paying attention, right? You're not new to this. You're not new to this. It's be do have, right? And the number one thing that's gonna make it happen, of course you are. I know Leela, right? Like, you're not new to this. The number one thing that's going to make it happen is making a decision. It's making a decision. That's the thing that we need to do. But up until now, we've been letting the outside world make the decisions for us. We've been living in reaction mode, living conditionally. Oh, something happened, therefore I'm going to make it mean a certain thing, and I'm going to take action that is in alignment with that. But instead, we want to make a decision. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm here to do. And we want to continue to live there, like we talked about, like we already do, live in the imagination and develop it, get even more excited about it, continue to expand it, and then bring it into our 3D physical and move differently. We know mentorship, being in community is a top priority. Are we doing it? Have we been doing it? Most of us, it's a no, because we're still in the thinking of, it's okay, I got this. A lot of us were raised by single moms, right? It's absolutely crazy how many people I attract into my world who are single moms raised by single moms. Okay. We don't have to be, a side thing, it's a side note, but like, we don't have to wear all the hats, right? Like, we don't have to, right? We don't have to force. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to, like, this is a very masculine, like, dominated energy, is to the belief that it's like, I need to be on, I need to do all the things, I need to wear all the hats. Like, that's very masculine. But when in reality, what we're doing here is bringing them together. Okay. So decision making is the most important thing. And it's actually a skill that most people have lost. As women, especially, we have given our power away to men, to people outside of us to make the decisions for us. And actually, like, it's so funny because anything that has been, this is called illogical. We're talking about delusion. Lots more of be for as long as you need so that you can do, then you can have. Exactly. And it's the work is how we can do them all together. So, I lost my train of thought there for a sec. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Okay. So this is called illusion. This is called illogical. We've been talking about being delusional. Okay. But is it actually being delusional? Like, is it actually? Because if we understand creation, and this is something I've been talking about on my social media for a bit, if we understand creation, how is creation actually? Where does it come from? Where does anything come from? Our minds, our imagination. So is it actually delusion? That's what I'm like really like playing with here, is like, wow, and coming to terms with, it's not actually delusion. We've actually just been brainwashed into believing it is, because it's not physical. It's not understandable. It's not tangible. And we live in a society that has taught us we need to do things a certain way. We need to look a certain way. We need to talk a certain way. We need to think a certain way. And we need to fit into the society because that is how the society works. The society needs us to conform to keep the society moving. And there's a lot of people in this world that are here for that. And that's great for them. It's great for us as well. They're meant to work in the system and keep the system afloat and keep doing the things. And that's great. They're fulfilled in that. But we aren't. Okay. And so when we think of that, delusion is actually, in my opinion, not delusion. That is delusion. Living to work and working to live is delusion. Working until you retire, trading your time for money, having somebody else tell you how much you're worth and what you can and cannot do is delusion. Are you with me? Like, am I alone in this? This is crazy. And we're told to be realistic, and we're told that we're like illogical and delusional. I'm sorry, but like, I think I missed something, right? I think I missed something. Yes, exactly. Things are breaking down. People are recognizing this because our consciousness has never been like this in our perspective anyway, right? We don't know. But things have changed. So things are starting to change. Yes. But delusion is not actually delusion, right? So anything that's anything is actually originated in someone's imagination. So decision making is a skill that most of the world does not have. And when we can create something in our imagination and decide on it and be do have it into existence, that is where we create from as visionaries. Decision making. So successful people, you've heard this before, make decisions really fast and they rarely change their mind. Unsuccessful people take a while to make decisions and almost always change their mind. How are you with decision making? Okay, those of you like live with me, Rose, and on the replay, like, how are you with decision making? Be honest with yourself. Can you make a decision well, like fast? If you're presented with a decision, are you someone who's like, yeah, I know what I want. I tune in for a second. Does it align? Yes, I'm down. Or are you someone who, like most people, are like, I gotta talk to my husband. I gotta ask my friend. I don't know yet. Should I ask my kids? What should I do? I'm sitting with this. I gotta sleep on it. Right? There are moments it's not consistent. So if we notice, maybe there's certain things that we're really good at making decisions on. So much distraction. Yeah. Maybe there's certain things that we're good at making decisions on. Maybe there's certain things we're not so good. One way to strengthen the decision-making skill, like muscle, is to start making little decisions really fast. So for example, what do you want for dinner? Bam. Right? It's like this. Like strengthen that muscle. Just like, if you're somebody who wants to be more confident, great. Find ways that you're confident right now. Show your mind that you can do these things. You're already doing them. And do them better, do them more, and do them more often, because decision making is the make it or break it. It's everything, because once we make a decision, everything else happens accordingly. Everything else starts to unfold. I see so many people in limbo, la la land, because they haven't made a decision. And what it sounds like is, well, I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm not there yet. And really, are you going to be there? Are you ever going to know? In my opinion, the answer is no. What you're telling me and what I see is that you haven't made a decision. Why haven't you made a decision? Because you don't trust yourself. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so we need to learn how to make decisions. And how do we learn? Through making decisions. And what happens when we make a decision on this cellular level, something really big, something that is illogical, it doesn't make sense, something that is irrational. If you told someone about it, they would seriously call you crazy. What happens when we make a decision that big and we go all in on it and we work with our nervous system, right? Remember to expand our capacities to perceive, receive, and hold. That is the expand method. When we can do that, and then we surround ourselves with community of women who are also in that, what do we even want to say, dimension, we change. On a cellular level, we change, and everything starts unfolding perfectly. And maybe you can think of times in your life when this has happened. You can probably also think of times in your life when you've avoided making a decision and then you felt the consequences. right? Maybe you were like in your soul, you're like, as visionaries, we have that ability to tap into our intuition. We live from our intuition. And any moment we question our intuition, what happens? We're always proven, fuck, I should have done that. I knew it. I should have done that. We always will be shown, right? That's huge. So this is why most people fall back into old patterns, is because they fail to make a decision, or they make a superficial decision. So the thing about decision making is it can't be just, if we're talking about things that are like really monumental, it can't just be a superficial thing. Every cell in our body has to be on board. And so sometimes the old ideas, the layers we've been talking about, are really thick, and they're strong, right? Bob Proctor, who's like an OG manifestation coach, he used to say there's two ways to break out of a paradigm. That's what he used to call this information, paradigm. Okay, it's like programming for a computer. And there's two ways to actually break out of it. Okay, yes, it's one way is to, the same way it was born or formed, is to do the opposite again and again and again. So say what you want. Anytime it comes up, no, that is my old story. This is what I want. Say it again and again, and do what you're supposed to do. Do what you want to do again and again and again. Okay. So the second way is through drastic emotional impact. So something really big happens that like shifts and shakes your life. It changes you on a cellular level. So for me, when I was a single mom in government housing with two little tiny kids, and I was like, well, what if I could go to Costa Rica, just playing with the idea, living in like, okay, one day, Laterland, one day I'll be able to do that. I got in a car crash, and it was the last straw, as we say in English, the last straw. I was like, I am so done. And I've decided right now that this is going to change. I'm no longer okay with this. I broke out of that program, that cycle that I'd been living in for so long, that later land. I broke out of it in that second and decided this is where I'm going. The pin is on the map, and then I be-do halved it into existence. That's what I did. And I worked on it every single day. It's not just a one and done. It's every single day. This is where I'm going, and I'm going to expand to that. Was there hard times? Oh my God, yes. It was very dark in times, for sure. But I could hold myself through it. That's the difference. I didn't succumb to the darkness because I knew where I was going. Okay, so when we make a decision, this is everything. Okay, are we ready to experience some tapping before we close off? I know we've ran over quite a bit. Let's experience some tapping. We're going to tap on something real fun today. Okay, we're going to tap on being the most delusional person we know and being proud of it. Okay. So this is gonna be fun. Let me stop screen sharing so that you can see me better. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go. All right, yay. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so if you're new to tapping with me, which I assume most of you are not, but just in case you are, I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap on energy meridians on the body. So we're tapping on these places in our body to move the energy around. Because remember, this information that I've been telling, we've been kind of seeing it visually as like this shell around us. I want actually us to realize that we store trauma and energy and information in our physical body. So it's not just hovering above our body, it's literally in our body. So when we're tapping, we're actually tapping on those energy centers and stirring that energy up. Okay. And then with our voice, we're going to free it from our bodies. So today is not a venting and processing tapping. It's also not a soothing tapping and grounding. It is a amplifying, expansive tapping session, because right now that's where we're at. That's what we need. And so I'm really excited for this. So the tapping points, I will say them as we go through them. All you need to do is tap with me and talk with me, like repeat after me. All right. So we're going to start by finding a comfortable seat. You can roll your shoulders up and back, maybe like shake them out a little bit if you've been sitting for a bit. Okay, allow yourself a space to ground. You can feel your body touching the earth, your feet, your sitting bones. And then I want you to take an inhale and grow taller through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, imagine you're blowing out a straw. We're going to do that once again. You're welcome to close the eyes if you want to, and then exhale nice and slow. Okay. And then when you're ready, I want you to, give me one moment here. I'm just going to turn on the voice record so that I can put it in my tapping library. Okay, we're going to start by tapping on the top of the head. Remember repeating after me. Today I've decided, eyebrows, that I am the most delusional person I know. Side of the eyes. And I am dang proud of it. Under the eyes. And just declaring this to myself, under the nose, feels so freaking fun. Under the mouth, and so liberating. Collarbones. I've spent way too long trying to follow the rules. Under the arms, which is kind of like a little bit above the bra line. I've spent way too long trying to fit in. Under the chest, which is along the bra line. Trying to squeeze my multi-dimensional self, wrists, into someone else's lame box. Top of the head. And now I see why it never felt right. Eyebrows. I see why I've been feeling overwhelmed. Side of the eyes. I see exactly why I've been feeling confused. Under the eyes, or even just straight up bored. Under the nose, it's because I've been dimming my own light. Under the mouth, nothing about me or my life, collarbones, or my business makes sense. Under the arms, and up until now, under the chest, I thought something was wrong with me. Wrists, I thought I needed to conform. Top of the head, I thought I needed to follow the rules. Eyebrows, but I now see, side of the eyes, that that's the last thing I need to do. Under the eyes, the world needs my light more than ever. Under the nose, it needs me to get loud. Under the mouth, to speak my truth. Collarbones, and to rise. Under the arms, and even though a younger version of me, under the chest, would have been frightened by this. Wrists, I know I can hold it. Top of the head, I'm here for a reason. Eyebrows, and I know that it is safe for me to be me. Side of the eyes, it is safe for me to fully express myself. Under the eyes, and take up space in a new way. Under the nose, and it's okay if I am met with challenges. Under the mouth, because I know that this is, how do I want to say this? Because I know I'm here to grow. Collarbones, and I also know I'm here to help others to grow. Under the arms, and so no matter what comes my way, under the chest, I know I can hold it. Wrists. I am so ready for my life to feel easy. Top of the head and expansive. Eyebrows. I'm so ready to not have to worry about side of the eyes, whether or not I'm doing it right. Under the eyes, or if I'm offending anyone. Under the nose, because the truth is, under the mouth, the world needs more color. Collarbones. The world needs more visionaries who aren't afraid. Under the arms, to do life their own wild way. Under the chest. And so as I go into my day now, wrists, I'm going to do life differently. Top of the head, as this version of me. Eyebrows, who I know I'm here to be. Side of the eyes, who is unapologetically wild. Under the eyes, messy and free. Under the nose, and I'm not going to try to fit in. Under the mouth, and I'm not going to try to conform in any way. Collarbones, I'm just going to let myself be me. Under the arms, the full, delusional. Under the chest, illogical version of me. And so it is. Bring one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Take a deep breath in. You can close the eyes. And exhale through the straw. Notice how you're feeling. Notice any emotions that have come up. Take one more breath like that. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How do you feel? Happy and crying. Yes. It's such a relief, right? It's such a relief. And I love tapping because it's such a powerful tool to help us to release this stuff from our bodies. So sometimes when we go straight to the expansive tapping, there might be some voices. And remember that it's a choice to give our power away to those voices or to alchemize them, reframe them into what they actually are and use them as information. No, I don't live there anymore. I used to say that all the time to myself. I don't live there anymore. Don't worry. We're safe. We're good. We got this. I don't live there anymore. And then you override it. This is my truth. This is my community. This is who I am here to be on this planet. This is my soul's work here. And I get to be unapologetically wild, illogical, messy, all the things. And I don't need to fit into a box. I don't need to try to figure out how to summarize myself into an Instagram bio, right? I don't need to conform. All I need to do is be me. And this feels beautiful. And from there, that is the effortless living. That is where you're unshakable because your nervous system is solid. You're in a state of rest and restore, and you're in homeostasis, you're balanced, your parasympathetic nervous system is engaged, your digestive system's working well, you're grounded, you know you're safe. And that's where we can actually think properly and dream. And we can continue to challenge our own perceptions, our own beliefs. Whenever something comes up through your day, I want you, that's your homework today. I want you to challenge it. Okay, I want you to see it for what it is. That's information. That's an old way of seeing that. And I don't live there anymore. Therefore, how am I going to see it? Okay. I used to, on the topic of money and wealth and self-worth, I used to, when I see someone with something I wanted, even though I consciously wasn't aware that I wanted it at the time, I would feel jealousy. I would feel anger. Who are they to have that thing? Don't they know that there's starving people in the world? Guys, the world doesn't need more money. It needs people like us to stand up. To stand up. Yes, you're so welcome. It needs people like us to get loud and to lead the way. Trust me, I was a single mom living in the depths of the darkness. I didn't need money. Money from that perspective, from somebody who believes money is disposable. Like it's literally, there's not enough of it. It's nothing. That person, these people, they need us to stand up and they need us to rise and they need us to embrace being a visionary and being illogical, because anything that's anything in this world has been made from someone's imagination. And I don't know about you, but to me, that's not delusional. That's how we change the world. That's how we create anything. Okay. Go and have a beautiful day. And I'm so grateful that you're here. Tomorrow is another day. We're going to talk more about identity and we're going to do another tapping session. And it's also going to be very extensive. I love you too. You're so sweet. And I'll see you tomorrow, you guys. The replay will be sent out via email. The call to action, the little integration homework, the information on the giveaway, all the things. If you know someone in your life that needs to hear this information, another fellow visionary that feels freaking alone on a desolate planet, send them the link to register for this event. Okay, because together we rise. Go have a beautiful day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.